Yes. And I have a final question now. This is partly because we are both sort of sons of the Himalayas, Buddhist
Yes.
Himalayas. Our Himalayan Buddhist culture is informed by concepts like emptiness and Buddha nature. The whole value system is based on such principles. If we were to reach such values, such concepts to our own young people outside the monastic scholastic centers, what would be your advice? What should the young Tibetans and the Bhutanese, in what way should we be able to spread these concepts and messages to them?
Well, thank you. That's a really important question. And also right now it's important because, one of the things that I worry about our time is in the globalized world, access and exposure to multiple ideas is part of that reality. And in that reality, which story gets told and which story that you resonate with becomes an important issue. So, and I know, for example, like in the West, particularly where the public space and discourse is secular, conception of human nature is very, very influenced by a kind of a particular Darwinian reading of human beings as being profit maximizers, pursuit of self-interest being the key driver of human behavior, human motivation, and autonomy and independence is a key cultural societal value. So in this, and so there's also a kind of a strong emphasis on hedonism, that you make your life and you are your master, which is in a way, even the Buddha says that you are your own master, but he meant it in a different way. So in this kind of context, I think paying attention to the great insights in our own tradition, inherent tradition, is an important one. For example, like the Buddha nature teaching tells us that we have the capacity to even become a Buddha. That's a powerful, powerful message. That's a source of courage. And it also tells us that the impulse for kindness, impulse for compassion is a very natural part of who we are as a sentient creature. In fact, in the Buddhist tradition, we define sentient being as those who are capable of experiencing pain and pleasure. So the capacity to experience pain is a fundamental reality of who we are as sentient. And it's because of this, we cannot tolerate to see someone else suffer because we're immediately able to identify. So those things, and also one of the important teachings of the Buddha nature is that the capacity for knowledge is in us, the wisdom. And in fact, to read Buddha nature, some of the scriptures literally, in some sense, we are kind of even enlightened already. We don't know. I mean, that's a little going too far, but even in a metaphoric sense, that's a powerful message. So all of this really gives us a way of seeing who we are as a human beings, very different from the typical Darwinian evolutionary theory story. That I think is really important because, the way we see ourselves, the story we tell for ourselves is going to influence how we treat others. And so those kind of things are really important. And also one of the things that I would like to encourage the younger generation is to also rejoice in the fact that we are born into a cultural context where we have these inherited, as part of our heritage, these great teachings and wisdom. So I think those are important because in the end, even though we may be living in a globalized world, but each of us has to make sense of our own life. Each of us has to find a purpose, and it's way more effective to find that meaning and purpose that would involve or include embracing the great teachings and wisdom of the great masters of the past, so that you're not, whereas in the purely secular world, you are expected to create your own meaning. make sense of your own existence without recourse to any traditional teachings. Whereas in our own tradition, we have great reverence, deep reverence to the masters like the Buddha and great teachers of the past. So I think those are important, points I would share with the younger generation.